On the news tonight, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele meets President Buhari, appeals to Nigerians to accept CBN's redesigned Naira policy. U.S. returns $954,000 Alamesia loot. And IGP to deploy over 400,000 joint security personnel across polling units. Well, many thanks for joining us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, has appealed to Nigerians to allow the Naira redesign policy of government to work. Speaking with newsmen on Thursday after meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari and House ad hoc committee on Naira redesign and swap policy at the State House in Abuja, the CBN governor said allowing the currency swap to work will go a long way to help the nation's economy. Emefiele will disclose that he has met with the leadership of at least 15 commercial banks, said the meeting was to ensure an ample supply of the old 200 Naira notes to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians. Emefiele's visit comes hours after the president, in a televised message, announced that only the old 200 Naira note will remain a legal tender until April 10th, 2023.
We are all servants. We are serving Nigerians. As far as I'm concerned, the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation has spoken on this matter, and the President has sealed the whole of the issues this morning in his broadcast. And I think I can only just appeal to Nigerians, let's allow this policy to work. This policy is one policy that goes to solve the problem of reducing corruption and illicit financial flows. This policy goes to resolve some of the problems in the economy. This policy also goes to reducing the level of insecurity in the country. So these three issues, which are the tripod of this administration's policy, are all embedded in this policy. We should just allow it to work. We keep saying this. There are some temporary pains, but I can assure Nigerians that the long-run benefit to Nigeria is overwhelming, and we should just give it a chance to work. The President has given his directives. I have met with about 15 banks this morning later, and we've given them directives about how they should make all the old 200 Naira notes available, effective today. And I can assure Nigerians that this will help to reduce the pains. We meet with the bankers at least once daily to get feedback and the rest of them. And I think we should just allow this policy work. The pains, temporary pains, are regrettable, but I can assure Nigerians that it will be well.
On February 15th, the Supreme Court adjourned the hearing of the case brought against the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, on the Naira redesign policy. A seven-member panel of the Apex Court, led by John Okoro, also said there was no need to issue a fresh order, as the interim order is pending the hearing on the motion on notice. The development, which left many Nigerians confused, got more complicated on Thursday morning when President Muhammadu Buhari, in a national address, declared the old 200 Naira notes legal until April the 10th, but insists that the old 500 Naira and 1,000 Naira notes are no longer legal tenders. So does this latest directive invalidate the order of the Supreme Court? Monday Ubani, second Vice President, Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, joins me now to share his insight. As always, thank you very much for joining us. Now, Nigerians are left wondering whether or not the old 500 Naira and 1,000 Naira notes remain legal tender.
Announcement of the President today, being Thursday. The notes you mentioned, the 500 and 1,000 tender, they cannot be accepted as a medium of exchange. The only currency note that is old that is supposed to be used going by investment is only 200 notes. So if you now have 500 and 1,000, you have to pass through the regular process of returning it back to the central bank corridor, not to the commercial bank. That is import of what the president has done today, and it's clearly at variance interim order of the Supreme Court, which was said that the gold currency should still be in circulation on grievances that have been brought before the Supreme Court. That was adjourned 2nd or 23rd of February.
Now, Mondo Ubani, I would like you to please increase the volume of your voice when answering this next question. But would like to know, the Supreme Court has given an order, and the President has also said, hey, the 200 Naira notes can be spent until a certain time, but for the 500 and 1,000 Naira notes, it can no longer be a legal tender. So where does this place the Supreme Court in terms of the judiciary and checks and balances between the three arms of government?
I think that the president today, by that announcement, snubbed the Supreme Court's order. There was an interim order restraining the executive with going ahead with the deadlining the old currency notes. And so it is clearly a snub. And they ran by that announcement in contempt of what the Supreme Court has actually ordered that should be in existence until the motion on notice is here. And so where it has placed the Supreme Court is that the executive has actually lowered the dignity and respect that is agreeable to Supreme Court, because it's a clear, flagrant disobedience to the Supreme Court order. Well, this government has been noted for disobeying court orders. So this is not the first. Of course, we are aware of Nnamdi Kanu's order, also that was given at the Court of Appeal. And up to now, there is no restraining order. There is no stay of execution of that particular order, and it has not been obeyed by the government. There are several orders, Idasuki, so many other judgments, even the El Sasaki and all that, so many others have been made against this government that they have, disobeyed. So this is not the first. So they are known for disobedience to court order. So what is going on is that it will go down in history that this government was one of the most disobedient government to court judgment. That is what we go down in history as probably number one, if not the highest.
Well, Monday Ubani, Second Vice President, Nigeria Bar Association, NBA, thank you very much for your time and your contribution. The U.S. and the Nigerian government have signed a deal to return $954,000 that was allegedly stolen by Depreye Alameye Sia, former governor of Bayelsa State. Beatrice Jedi Agba, the nation's Solicitor General and Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Justice, and Mary Beth Leonard, the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, both signed on behalf of their respective nations. Jedi Agba said the president has ordered that the repatriated funds be used to upgrade the healthcare facilities in Bayelsa State. Also speaking on the development, U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria Mary Beth Leonard said the official salary of the former governor during his tenure as a public servant from 1999 to his impeachment in 2005 did not match the said amount. And now to political matters. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Al-Khali Baba, says a total of 404,106 security operatives will be mobilized for the February 25 presidential poll. According to the police chief, the security personnel jointly comprise the police, the Department of State Services, Army, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, correctional officers, National Drug Law Enforcement agencies, among others. He explained that the deployment will cover the National Collation Center in Abuja, as well as other collation centers across the state of the Federation and 774 LGAs. He added that the police would not be allowed to offer escort services to VIPs during the election days, warning those planning to foment trouble to be wary.
Much as the Nigeria Police has perfected plans to engender a peaceful electoral process, the following have been identified as possible challenges: continuous and targeted attacks on INEC facilities by subversive anti-democratic elements, inter-party crisis and intra-party violence, 5, hate speeches, political intolerance and extremism, as well as anti-democratic conducts of some state governors and other strategic political actors which could inflame the political space. From INET records, there exist 176,846 polling units in 8,809 wards of the 36 states of the Federation and FCT, where the elections will be conducted. The Nigeria Police, with support of other security agencies, have perfected plans to deploy in a coordinated and collaborative manner to cover all these locations. The deployment will cover the National Collation Center in Abuja, as well as other collation centers across the states of the Federation, the FCT, and the 774 local government areas of the Federation. In view of the above, the Nigeria Police will deploy 310,973 personnel for the election security operations. This will comprise of conventional policemen, the mobile policemen, the Special Counter-Terrorism Unit, the Special Forces, Intelligence Response Team, and other sections of the police.
The flag bearer of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has maintained a lead in a third and final nationwide opinion poll commissioned by ANAP Foundation and conducted by NOI Polls Limited. The third poll, which was concluded in the first half of February 2023, followed two earlier polls carried in September and December 2022. According to the president and founder of ANAP Foundation, Atedo Peterside, Peter Obi of the Labour Party remains in the lead, with Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party both trailing him, while Rabiu Kwankwaso of the New Nigeria People's Party emerged as the lone outsider. The Nigerian Human Rights Community, NHRC, has come up with projections on the February 25 presidential elections following the opinion poll conducted in collaboration with various researchers and consultants in Nigeria. The NHRC poll revealed that the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, holds the lead, while the second is between People's Democratic Party candidate Atiku Abubakar and Labour Party candidate Peter Obi. Speaking in Lagos on Thursday, the General Secretary of the NHRC, Taiwo Adeleye, says Tinubu leads in the four most populous states, Lagos, Oyo, Kano, and Borno, which may have contributed to Tinubu's lead.
Study employed random sampling with emphasis on urban and rural population, with focal point on the voting age of 18 and above. The data collected were analyzed using the statistical package for social services. Using the statistical package for social services version 25 software to ensure the accuracy and fidelity of the results. Findings from the work across the length and breadth of the country are presented in two broad sections, aggregated and disaggregated by zone and state for easy comprehension. The aim of the poll is to determine the fears and aspirations of voters across party lines towards the 2023 general election. The data collection analysis focused on registered party members with PVC, which comprises men, women, youth, and people living with disabilities. The Nigerian Human Rights Community poll revealed that the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Shetima, holds a significant lead and is on course to win the 2023 general election. The polls also confirm a two-horse series for the second position between Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party and Peter Obi of the Labour Party, while Rabiu Kwankwaso of the NNP came a distant fourth, as all the contestants together scored an insignificant total.
While still in politics, Governor of Rivers State has ruled out the possibility of him and his political allies reaching a last-minute deal with Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Speaking at the media chat, Wike said the time frame for resolving the grievance of the G5 is over and he is not ready to sit down with anybody again. In the past few months, several attempts at reconciliation have failed to yield desired results by some party stakeholders. Wike and his allies, including Seyi Makinde of Oyo, Samuel Ortom of Benue State, Okoze Ikpeazu of Abia, and Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu, have excluded themselves from the party's presidential campaign over calls for Iyorchia Ayu to step down as a national chairperson. Political support groups for APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu has urged Nigerians to engage in constructive criticism to avoid unnecessary tensions as the general elections draw near. The groups Think Tinubu Movement and Renewed Hope Ambassadors of Nigeria made the call at the stakeholders' engagement and launch of a book titled The Recount, an Antidote to Unfair Criticism at Asiwaju Bola Tinubu on Wednesday in Lagos. Speaking at the event, Digi Ashaolu, Chairman, Technical Committee, Civil Societies Directorate of the APC, said the menace of trolling and negative criticisms in the political sphere across the country should be nipped in the bud.
Down to the community, to the grassroots, that this man, as he has offered himself to serve people, we should give him and support him and give him that mandate. Hopefully, just like the song that they are singing, that the reign of Asiwaju will bring an end to poverty, will bring an end to, I don't have money to go to school, will bring an end to insecurity, because he's a man that I believe that he knows what to do, that nobody can gauge.
In the whole of the African continent, if you're going to anywhere, you say you're going to Lagos, because all the good things of life are in Lagos. You talk about good roads, they're in Lagos. You talk about good schools, they're in Lagos. You talk about comforts, is in Lagos. You talk about social life, is in Lagos. You talk about security, is in Lagos. You talk about great edifices in Lagos. You just name them. Everything resides in Lagos here because of the visionary leadership of one person, His Excellency Distinguished Senator Asiwaju, who was able to reposition Lagos, who was able to relay, the hope and aspirations of Lagosians, who has been able to do a lot of things, beautify the place. He gave the place a facelift, and also, most importantly, he has also written down the blueprints that successive governments come and they take over from where the next person stops.
This is politics. Anybody can say whatever they like. Even a bad man knows himself is a bad man, let alone a man who is loved by many. So we still have somebody who will complain for one thing or the other. But let them come out. Let's start it out together with them. I can tell you for free that in every household, and if it is 10 members of the family, 9 will love Asiwaju.
We'll take a break here, but still to come. Voter registration starts in rebel heat Eastern DR Congo. Details of the story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, has appealed to Nigerians to allow the Naira redesign policy of government to work. Speaking with newsmen on Thursday after meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari and House ad hoc committee on Naira redesign and swap policy at the State House in Abuja, the CBN governor said allowing the currency swap to work will go a long way to help the nation's economy. We also told you that the U.S. and the Nigerian government have signed a deal to return $954,000 that was allegedly stolen by Dipreye Alameye-Sia, former governor of Bayelsa State. British Jedi Agba, the nation's Solicitor General and Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Justice, and Mary Beth Leonard, the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, both signed on behalf of their respective nations. And in case you missed any of our news bulletin, for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. For the first time in 3 years, all the land borders in Ivory Coast are now open. In a briefing, the country's Council of Ministers on Favorable Health and Economic Development since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic mean it is now safe to lift COVID restriction. The Council further revealed that reopening of borders is also to crack down on illegal crossings and redirect travelers to official border posts instead. 10,000 COVID-19 deaths have been recorded globally in 1 week. The World Health Organization disclosed this at a virtual media briefing on global health issues on Wednesday. Speaking on the development, WHO Digi Tedros Ghebreyesus said though hospitalizations and deaths have declined, 10,000 deaths in a week is too many for a preventable disease. We'll take a breather now and be back with more stories to stay with us.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places, the Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians are saying in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it. Use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi 360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Let's join Simi Saladigun for more stories and business. Over to you, Simi.
Thank you very much, Folashade. Welcome to Business News. The Federal Executive Council, FEC, has approved $53.1 million and 2.1 billion naira as a local component for the procurement and installation of electricity conductors to boost power supply across the country. Minister of Power Abubakar Aliyu made this known when he briefed State House correspondent on the outcome of the Council's meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday in Abuja. He said the conductors, when installed, would help address the challenge of constant tripping of circuit breakers due to the overloading of electricity lines. Aliyu added that the new conductors would be used to upgrade existing power lines to enhance their efficiency.
These are existing lines which are being upgraded. The wires will be removed and new ones put in place. The difference from the new wires from the old ones are the new ones will be more efficient. They carry more load than the old wires. And you will reduce sagging. Once the wires are aged, they will sag and they become vulnerable and they become more heavy, and if you are changing them, you have to also change the stands which are carrying the wires. So these ones are lighter and can carry more electricity. So it will improve the efficiency and the challenges that we are facing of constant tripping of the breakers due to overloading of these lines will be tremendously reduced. So this is what this reconductoring is aimed to achieve.
We'll take a short break here and return with the stock market report. Stay with us. With more purchase of penny stocks, the Nigerian stock market furthered by 0.03% on Thursday, and that's 8 billion naira. The market's all-share index and its market capitalization also increased to 54,521 basis points and 29.7 trillion naira. For the third time this week, Triple G PLC leads the gainers with 9.7% share price appreciation, closing at ₦1.81 per share, followed closely by Japo Gold and Ventures. Now, Thursday's market activity shows that investors exchanged 125 million volume of shares valued at 3.6 billion naira in 2,670 deals. Now, to our select foreign stocks, it's another day of mixed trading, with the UK's FTSE and Japan's Nikkei stocks going further up by 0.18% and 0.71%. Now, the US Dow Jones stocks fell on Thursday after another hot inflation report and a decline in jobless claims, while showing that the economy is holding up amid the Federal Reserve's rate hikes. That's it on the stock market report. Back to you, Falashade.
Many thanks to Ms. for that update. And on the foreign scene, the electoral body in the Democratic Republic of Congo says it has started voter registration in 7 provinces in the eastern parts of the country, where millions of civilians have been displaced by fighting between the army and rebels. The Independent National Electoral Commission said voters will be registered in the volatile provinces of Ituri and North Kivu, as well as in the US and Canada. Voter registration across the country started in December and has so far seen at least 12 million people register as voters. Manchester United will be guests to Spanish La Liga giants Barcelona at the Nou Camp in Thursday's Europa League first leg playoff clash. United started this year's Europa League group stage on the wrong foot with a narrow 1-0 home defeat against Real Sociedad, but responded well with 5 successive victories. The Red Devils will be keen to improve their record against Spanish opposition, as they have won only 3 of their last 14 knockout fixtures in European competition. That's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Falashade for Green Day. Bye for now.